Hello everyone, welcome to the new video in React Basics learning series. As part of this lecture, we are going to cover the introduction to React hooks, then the state management using useState hook for a particular React component. As part of that, we are going to cover the syntax for the useState hook, the return values that you get as part of the useState, and what exactly is the behavior of the state variable uh, of state variable. And then we are going to cover the to do task functionality implementation part. In the last video we covered the layout, mostly the layout section, and if you would have followed the previous videos so far, like the current state of your applications would be this, where you have the layout of the entire application, then you have the to do tasks list, and then completed task list ready. All these data is static, coming from a static variable, and again same for this as well. This variable is not getting updated, it is a const. So first of all, let's start with the introduction to React hook. So what exactly is a React hook? So React hook is nothing but a special function, and it allows you to use state and other React features in functional components. uh, and in this case, like, it simplifies the component logic a lot and promotes a cleaner code development, which is very easy to read and understand. Now when it comes to understanding the use state hook, basically we are going to cover the return type and all when we start the coding part, but use state is mostly used for managing state variables within a particular component, and it returns a state variable. When you use the use state hook, basically it returns a state variable and setter method, which you can use for basically setting the state variable. From a behavioral point of view, whenever you have a state variable and you do certain updates on that variable, the component gets re-rendered so as to like update the values in the UI. So let's move on to the coding part. So far, like, we have completed the layout. Now as part of this video, we are going to make the input dynamic, and when you click on the button, we are going to implement the handlers for this button, so that whenever you click on the button, the new task item gets created. So let's add a new input variable here. First of all, let's create a um, let's use a state hook and create a state variable for keeping the input value, whatever value that you enter in this. Okay, so whatever value you enter here, right, that should be stored somewhere. So for that we need a state variable. So let's go back to VS Code and create a state variable using use a state hook. So for that you need to write const and the return type for the hook. So here in this case we can name the state variable as let's say to do tasks, and the naming for setter method would be set uh, to do tasks. Now here you need to use the React hook use state. So as you can see, it is coming in the suggestion, and if you press enter, you will be able to see the import gets added automatically for use state. Here you can initialize the state with some default value. So in this case, let's say I want to have an array of tasks, so I will initialize it with the empty array. Now once we have this, okay, let's change this to tasks, because our, sorry, not here. So here the names would be to do task, not tasks, because it is going to store one uh, one particular value for the task, and we can rename this to, okay, give me a second. So in this case this one is fine, like we can keep it to do tasks, and we need one more state variable which is called to do task. So let's copy and paste this entire thing and name it as a to do task. So in this case we have created two state variable. One is for holding the input value and other one is for holding the list of tasks. Now we don't need this constant, so let's get rid of this particular constant. So as you can see here, we have to do tasks, and that to do tasks we will be using here now for iterating over the list which we created earlier. And this is the state variable which we will be using for maintaining the state for this input. So let's put the state variable here in the uh, value prop. So let's put to do task. Now we need to add a on change handler here, so for that we need to give a handler name. So let's call it handle task input change. So I will remove this and create a new arrow function, handle to do task input change. So I'm calling it as handle to do task input change, which means like basically whenever there is a change in the to do task input, we want to do certain updates. As part of the input parameter for this function, we will be getting the event, and we need to set the to do task to event dot target dot value. So if you are not aware about the event, you need to read about it, or you can comment in the comment section for this video. I will create a separate lecture on how the events work on JavaScript. So once you have this particular handler available, you can copy this handler and paste it in the on change. So whenever there is a change in the input, basically this handler will get triggered and it will update the state variable which is called as to do task, and this is how it is getting updated. So you have the return value for use state is the state variable and the setter for that state variable, and this is how we initialize the state variable. So that's about the use state. Now for using it, we have put it in value, like in value we put the state variable, and then we have put the on change handler here, and then we have some placeholder. So this is static content. Now once we have all these things, we should be able to get the data updated here, but so far because we are referring to do tasks variable in the while rendering the list, so until we don't update this to do task, you won't be able to see any changes in the UI. So if I go back to the UI and let's add some things like gym as a task. If I click on add, nothing happens because we have not yet implemented the add functionality here. So once we implement, we should be able to see the task list getting updated. So let's go back to the VS Code and see how we can do that. We have already created one more state variable called to do tasks, and we have a setter method available for the to do task. Right now there is a button that we have added, which is here, this button. Now on click of this button, basically we need to update the to do task list, because whenever user fills some data in the input box, and he will click on the add button in order to basically add the task. So let's add a new handler here, handle add to do task button click. Okay, so we gave this name as handle add to do task button list, because this is add to do task button, and we are using the click event, we are triggering it on click event, so this name is more readable. Let's copy this and create a new handler method here. So let's give it a name const, then the name of the handler, and again it will be arrow function. At the end you can once you write this arrow function, basically what we need to do is whenever user enters the value and clicks on the button, we need to push that data into the to do task list. How we can do that? So basically we need to use the state setter. For that, first of all, let's do a quick check. uh, okay, let's continue with the adding it to the list. So first of all, we need to use set to do tasks, and in set to do tasks, basically I'm using a spread operator here. Again, this is a ES6 concept, and if you want to learn more about it, just comment like JavaScript ES6 learning, and I would create a video on that. But for now, just understand that whenever we use the spread operator on an existing array, basically what will happen, all the items in that array will get copied over to the new array. So in this case, why I am doing this, because let's say you add one task and then again you did some entry in the input and you are trying to add the second task. We don't want to lose the first task that we added, so it will first add all the tasks which are pre-existing, and then on top of that it will be adding the new task. So in this case, let's spread to do tasks, which is the existing task list, and then on top of this we need to add the uh, new task that user is trying to add, so which will be in the to do task, so which is stored in this particular state variable. So once we do this, basically we should be able to see the state getting updated. The next thing that we can do is we can reset the state for this to do task, because once you add it, we don't want to use the same data again. We will be adding a new task, so for that it will just reset one. If we reset it in the input, you won't see this existing data that you entered. So in this case, let's do set to do task to empty string, and let's see if I don't do this, what happens. So let's save it and go back to the browser. So I can enter learning React basics, let's say 9, and if I click on add, so as you can see, this task gets added, but this data is still here. So what I'm trying to do is I want to reset this data once you click on the add button, because I will be entering a new task here, right? So for that purpose, if I uncomment this now and save it, and let's refresh the browser. So learning React basics and 9, if I click on add now, as you can see, this data got reset, so I can enter a new task again, gym, and I can click on add, so this gets added. So I think so far it is clear. One more thing that I wanted to show you is, like, if I click plus on in just empty data, what happens. So I have not entered anything here, but if I click on plus, so as you can see, there is an empty task which is getting created. This is not something we want, so let's change the behavior so as to fix this bug. So here we can do a quick check. So if to do task is so this is empty string is a falsy value in JavaScript, so you can do a check. If to do task not to do task, then only, basically if to do task is there, then only we want to add it in the array. So within this if condition, we can put it both these lines, right? And once you do this, I think we should not be getting the same issue again. So let's refresh the browser and see how it behaves. So let's enter the first task as learning React basics 9, and click on the plus icon, then go for walk, that is the second task, and if I press plus, nothing happens, right? There are different ways to achieve this. Either you can disable the plus button, or we can handle the default behavior when there is no data here. So in this case, we have added a pre-check which ensures if there is nothing in the input box, you won't be able to add that into the array. So state variable is not getting updated here. So that's about it. I think we have covered how we can add a new entry in the to do task list. We have made the input box functional and the plus button functional. You have learned about the use a state hook and how it is helping us in achieving the user behavior that we need as part of this particular to do app. uh, I think going further, the videos are going to be more exciting, and I am very excited about it. Hope you are also. And if you are learning something new, it is my sincere request you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to our channel. And if you feel like someone in your friend circle can get help from these videos, please ensure to share these videos with them as well, so that everyone will get benefited. Again, thank you so much for watching, and see you soon with the next video.